What's up, and welcome back to Interpreting the Stars, where today I will be reviewing The Goldfinch, which is a 2019 drama based on a novel of the same name. Before seeing this, I want to tell you all that it was a completely blind viewing. I knew nothing about it, and I really do mean nothing. I never saw a single trailer, read any plot synopsis. I didn't even know what people thought of it or what the genre even was, to be honest with you. I just knew that when I was really big into reading books a while back, and I'd always keep an eye on the New York Times bestseller list for inspiration on what to read next, and it was hard not to notice how long The Goldfinch was on that list. It was at the top for a long time. I always thought I'd get around to reading it, but never did. I think when I read it was being adapted for a movie, I decided to just watch that when I could, and it's out on digital now, so what the heck even is The Goldfinch? Let's get into it. The Goldfinch tells the story of a young man who, in the midst of a great deal of commotion after a terrorist attack, steals a famous painting of a bird from an art museum, and that helps pave the way for his eventful life of criminal activity. At least that's the best I could tell you about it when it comes down to the plot, because to be honest with you, the film is really all over the place. A lot of things happen in this movie, and nothing is really grounded or revolves around any central theme. You can say it all revolves around the painting, and that'd be fine, but guys, I couldn't give two poops about that stupid painting. It's a weird plot device that almost seems detached from everything else. Now, there's been some hate and gripe spewed about this film. There really has been, and I will certainly get into the things that I didn't like about this movie soon enough, but first, it shouldn't be overlooked that there are some very good elements that I couldn't help but notice, like the stuff going on behind the scenes. You can call the movie boring all you want, but the cinematographer did such a wonderful job turning scenes that would normally be incredibly boring quite beautiful. The lighting and the color palette specifically is almost always a subtle technical marvel. The camera work and the editing is also very top-notch and clearly done by somebody who loves the art of film. And you can't forget about wardrobe. The men in this film clearly knew a good haberdasher to frequent. This review is brought to you by the word of the day, haberdasher, which means a men's clothing retailer. At the end of the day, though, those are the only things that I can praise. Everything else in this movie is pretty much sorted into the negative or neither here or there categories, and a big reason for that is not because the film is boring, it's because there's a massive lack of expressions from everybody. People complain all about The Lion King lacking expressions, but boy do I have a film for you to compare that to, because the best way that I can put this movie is that it often felt like they memorized their lines, but were still in the process of practicing them, like they weren't actually delivering the lines the way that they wanted to deliver them yet. There's actually nothing wrong with the dialogue. You can tell that it is good dialogue, probably based completely off of the book, but yeah, the delivery isn't perfect, and it's like this from beginning to end, which makes the film feel incredibly flat. What makes the film feel boring is the fact that the movie is 2.5 hours long, and it never in a million years deserved to be that long. The pacing is all over the place because nobody is actually trying to do anything in the movie. Everyone is just kind of doing something and then doing something else, and nothing really amounts to anything else. Which brings me to the end of the film. I won't exactly tell you how it ends or anything, since that would be spoiler territory. Heck, I don't even like talking about endings as a whole, so I'll put it in the form of narrative arc. An ending is built from both the climax and the resolution, and this film has no resolution because nothing is resolved. Throughout the runtime of the film, a number of personal issues present themselves to these characters, but that's all what happens. The issues are presented, but none of them are really resolved, so that's when you start to feel like the movie is a waste of time. It's a slow builder in a sense because the issues seem to get more and more personal, more intense in a way, but because none of them really have any resolution, why even bother, right? They must not have given the book justice, because there is no way a book spends 30 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list for it to be so jumbled, flat, and pointless. I'd even go as far to say my experience with this film specifically turned me off to ever reading the book it's based on, just in case anything in the book is similar to what happens in the movie, because I'll just keep getting reminded of the movie that I saw the one time, which I didn't like. What did I score this film? 49%. 49 out of 100 possible stars, granting it a failing letter grade of F. Guys, I'd like to hear your thoughts on The Goldfinch. Am I way off base here? Did I miss the point? Are you a fan of the book? And if so, let me know what happens in the book that is so well received. As for YouTube, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button if you like this review and would like to see some more. Like it, hit the thumbs up button because that always helps out my channel. And don't forget about the little bell. Because remember, it's not Taco Bell, but it is the next best thing because it helps notify you when I come out with my next movie review. And until then, peace out!